All righty then. So let us get started this week. As always, this is usually kind of our news and notes segment, but we got some funny, not some funny, but some interesting things to talk about this week because currently in the NFL, out of 32 teams, there are 3 teams that are actually 3-0. Only 3 out of 32. I think that's, this point in the season, that's kind of an interesting thing. It shows you what kind of parity there is in the NFL for one. But we're going to get into a little bit of these teams here that are 3-0. Because I want to ask you guys a couple of questions. So I'm going to start with you, Delilah. The San Francisco 49ers and, Brock Purdy are 3-0 going into this 4th week against the, I don't want to call them upstart, but they beat the Cowboys last week. They're playing the Cardinals this week. So, 49ers, are they for real? And is this a team poised to make a run at the Super Bowl this year? What do you think, Delilah?
I don't know about Super Bowl run, but yeah, I mean, they get a shot every year. This is not new, right? Like what? But they're like cursed, almost like Baltimore, except it's their QB that's cursed. Like for some reason, they're off to the races and then they get injured. So if Purdy can stay, healthy and keep it going, then absolutely they could make a playoff run. Now, I don't know if I can call them Super Bowl bound yet, but can they make us a playoff run? 100%. If everybody stays healthy and, ready to go, because no hate on Sam Darnold, okay? But that's your next man up. So, stay healthy, Purdy. And then, yes, they'll make a playoff run. But I'm not going to send them to the mothership yet. But they can definitely make a playoff run.
But you think they'll make a nice playoff run is what you're saying. Okay, awesome. Handy, my man. The Miami Dolphins are also 3-0. This week, they play the Buffalo Bills. So, obviously, do you see them going 4-0? And what do you see for Miami right now as they go on through this season? Are we talking a Tua renaissance and a chance to take the team a step further this year? What do you think?
Well, the number one phrase that plays into this is if he stays healthy. As long as Tua stays healthy. Listen, I can speak to this. If there's anybody out there that's a pro football fan that doesn't like college football, that never watched him before he got drafted, I can tell you, as a fan of that team right there, Tua Tagovailoa, I'm playing. I know how to pronounce the name, but Tua Tagovailoa is a bad dude. Okay, you hear what I'm saying? The kid poised under pressure. That is funny. I'm gonna be laughing about that later. Poised under pressure. Really, he was out there playing Patrick Mahomes. Did you see him with the Magic Johnson no-look pass? As long as he stays healthy and that offensive line keeps him upright, Miami can do some serious damage. And I think now that wasn't you talking about playoff run. You were just asking me 4-0. Yes, I think they can go 4-0. The Bills are an exceptionally talented team that have proven themselves to be inconsistent sometimes at the worst time. And this is, it's a conference matchup, isn't it? I can never remember who's in the East because they're not really in the East. They kind of scattered all over. The Miami's in the South and the Patriots are up here. And yeah, but anyway, it's a conference matchup. I don't think Allen has got his legs under him yet. He kind of feeling himself with the commercial with him peeping at people out of the bushes and stuff. He ain't gotten his legs together yet. But I definitely think thank you, Tina. Appreciate it. He just easing back into the bushes real slow like Homer Simpson. I definitely think that Miami has a very strong chance. I mean, dude, they got like 3 or 4 of the fastest dudes in the league on that team. And then, it's just like Ice Cube said, you ain't catching no crackhead. I think they're going to win this game.
Okay. No, fair enough. I'll talk more about that later in the show. Tina,
I didn't know we was covering crackheads today.
Well, no, I've known a few in my day if we really want to get into that, but I don't think we do. Tina, let's go. The Eagles are the third 3-0 team currently in the NFL. They draw the Commanders division game this week. What are your thoughts on the Eagles at this point? 3-0? Another Super Bowl run or return to the Super Bowl for the Eagles? What do we think about the Eagles so far?
Have you noticed something between all three of these teams? They're all NFC teams in weak divisions. So I think they all can make a run. And I do think Philadelphia can make a run. But let's talk about it. I mean, Eagles, Cowboys, until last week, I would have said, yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing. Giants aren't playing that well. Falcons have won a couple of games. So, I mean, they're weak. They're in weaker divisions, so they could make a run. So I think Philly out of, well, no, I take it back. I think it's going to be San Francisco and Philly again in the championship game.
Okay.
I know I'm going to get some heat from a particular Miami fan, but with what happened last week. But I do think that's
you're fine.
But I think all these teams, they're in somewhat weaker teams. On Miami, no, not until the Jets lost Aaron Rodgers. Because I agree with what someone said about the Bills. The Bills are hit or miss. So it's going to be one of those guys. Sorry, I didn't mean to overtake the question, but
no.
You're thinking like they're all in I mean, they're not bad divisions, but no one's the front runner. No one's running away yet, except for these three.
Nope. Yeah.
Based on strength of the schedule so far.
Yeah.
Like, if you look who they've been playing, and yes, I'm putting myself in that position. I think there's something to be said of a wait and see attitude with these guys to see if they really are going to be the front runners, or is Mahomes and the Chiefs good? Oh yeah, Miami is in the AFC. I forget about that. I always think they're NFC. I don't know why. Same with Seahawks.
That's
I think the Seahawks should be in the NFC also, and they're in the AFC. Well, no, they were in the AFC.
No, they are in the NFC, right? They switched over, right? They did that realignment thing. Yeah, they did all that.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of teams in there, Chiefs being one of them, that I think are starting slower, and they'll catch the momentum going forward. Okay, so we'll see. I'm just going to play a wait and see attitude with them.
Okay, no, I again, I know it's early in the season, but I like you. You always get a sense sometimes of how teams, when the way they start is usually a good indicator of how they're going to go the rest of the way. Like I said, as long as these teams can avoid injury, it's hard not to think that the Dolphins would win the East, given the way the Jets all of a sudden, have collapsed with Aaron Rodgers going down. And as Anthony said, Buffalo, man, one day they look like world beaters, and the next week he throws 4 interceptions and they look like crap. So, yeah, I never know what I want to root for Buffalo, but I never know what the hell they're going to do. And as far as the 49ers go, I mean, Brock Purdy is undefeated as a starter in the regular season so far. And even though it's a small sample of, 9 or 10 games, that's still a pretty good feat for a guy.
Their 13th in a row. You know how we've lost our 13th in a row? They've won their 13th in a row.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. This kid was the last pick in the draft, and he hasn't lost a regular season game yet. And if it wasn't for the fact he got knocked out of that playoff game, we never know how that game might have turned out. Because, Josh Johnson just wasn't the answer there last year. But, again, I was not skeptical, but I was like, I want to see how Brock Purdy does coming out this year before I started. But I've always thought San Francisco, they have 2 of the best lines in football, both on the defensive side and the offensive side. So I'm looking at the NFC going, they're a front runner as far as I'm concerned, and I would pick them to be the NFC representative in the Super Bowl again as of right now. But again, it is only week 4 coming up, so plenty of football left, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go to the flip side now. You got 3 3-0 teams. We have 4 0-3 teams. And 2 of those teams, Tina, Delilah, and myself are very familiar with. And just by some happenstance, because that's just the way the world goes sometimes, right? They play each other this week. Yes, we have a matchup of Broncos-Bears, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, I could probably do an hour show myself on this game and everything I really want to say, but we don't have the time for that today. So we're just going to do this really quickly. Can anyone clear up the rumor that Aaron Rodgers giving up the Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And thank you, Ben, for always injecting your humor into our comments. I love it. Thank you so much for watching, sir. No, I do like your memes about though. Brittany Mahomes taking out Taylor Swift eventually because she's stealing her spotlight. That would be hilarious.
Oh my
Oh, Brittany
God.
Mahomes.
It's the Tanya Harding Nancy Kerrigan meme. You not seen this? The
No,
Tanya
but
Harding
that's
Nancy
great.
Kerrigan meme. Oh, it's phenomenal. It's
Now I
phenomenal.
want
I'm like, that is
Brittany
so funny.
Mahomes.
See that happen.
That woman.
my life.
Yeah.
That woman does not like to not be the center of attention.
Right? I know. I
That
mean,
was good.
and now you got
Alright, it's
Taylor
fine.
Swift coming to Chiefs games. Come on.
Well, and Taylor is likable, and Brittany is not.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Unfortunately,
Well,
Brittany has made
depends
herself
on
not
who you talk to. I got
likable,
some friends
and
that
everybody
would
loves Taylor
disagree with
Swift for the
that.
most part, right? Yeah, hilarious stuff. But a side note. Sorry, I don't want to get too sidetracked. Let's get back to what we were talking about, though. But
You
yeah,
mean get back to football.
Tina. Yeah. Back to football for now. We'll get to the National Enquirer stuff later. But Tina, I mean, your Broncos. Again, and believe me, I'm not bragging about anything here because we're 0-3 as well. But what do you see for this game? 0-3. Does one team get a win? Like I told you, my thing was poetic justice would be it ends in a tie and none of them get a win. But how are you feeling about the Broncos this week going into week 4 against our beloved Bear?
Crapshoot.
Right.
I mean, I feel this is one of those, like, there's a lot of pluses and minuses. Like, I have a lot of friends that are like, oh, our team is the worst ever because we lost 41-10. I was like, yeah, you didn't lose by 50.
Yeah, well, that's true, right? But
you guys also scored your points once the Chiefs were putting out their third stringers.
Sure,
so,
that's true. That's true as well.
Miami kept their first string in for almost 4 full quarters. It was only like in the last 10 minutes they started throwing in the other guy. So it's one of those, I really don't know. I mean, in my heart of heart, I want us to win. And we might be able to do it. I mean, it's going to come down to whose offensive line actually can protect the quarterback the most, whose defense can stop the most points. I mean, this might literally come down to field goals, and that's not a lie. Or a punt return.
No,
which, in my case, punt returns, unlike the last time that I went to a Bears game and Devin Hester ran it back for a 105-yard return. I like them. Them is pretty good. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, he showed himself so far. Yeah, he has. I'll give him that.
If he hadn't stepped out, he would have ran that one back against the Commanders. So I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Yeah. Like, to be honest, how do you guys feel about this game?
Well, Delilah, I was going to go to you next because I do find it kind of interesting, Tina. You guys are a 3.5-point favorite in this game. It's a road game for Denver. But yeah, you guys, how do we feel about that, Delilah? The Bears literally are getting 3.5 points in this game, a home game for us, which normally you would think is great, but we've sucked everywhere, so it really doesn't matter. But what's your opinion on Sunday's Denver Broncos Chicago Bears game?
They deserve that. Okay, we've lost 13 games in a row since last season. Okay?
Yep.
They deserve that. Vegas doesn't trust them. I don't trust them.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
They haven't won a game since October 24th of 2022. Okay?
Yep. Correct.
So you deserve to be piled on because you are the worst team I've seen in many a year. And we went 3-13 with Fox, but at least they tried and actually put up points. Those teams were competitive. Even when we lost, we put up points. We put up points with Orton. Kyle Orton put up points for us. Okay? Yep. Josh McCown. Okay, people forget. Put up points for us. So again, even in the Mark Trestman days, even in the John
please don't
Fox
say that name again.
Okay, it doesn't matter. We won games with him. Okay. We didn't lose 13 games in a row.
I know. I hear you. I'm with you. I feel you.
You deserve to be piled on, and I hope Denver does beat our butts and we go 0-4 because we don't deserve to win.
Okay.
You don't.
We'll see. There you go.
Win. You're awful. You're garbage. Because I've been looking at stats, and what I'm reading makes no sense because everything has regressed, and that doesn't make sense to me in a practical sense. I don't understand how we regressed so much. It just is not computing. The math ain't mathing, and I don't know why this is happening. It's not sensible. Yep. So yeah, I hope Denver does beat us and embarrasses us because we don't deserve to win anything. You're all trash and garbage.
Well, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I shake my head, and all I can do is hope that somehow we come alive on Sunday. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Is it possible for the NFL to black out the Broncos Sunday ticket this weekend? We have to think about the fans here. Oh, there's Ben again. Ben, Ben, your team is the Raiders there in Vegas. I don't know if I'd brag if I were you and start making jokes at our expense, pal. Just saying. Love you, Ben.
Geez, not
but come down over there.
What McDaniel did this week.
Right. Calm down over there, bro. Why are you kicking field goals when you're down 8 and you should go for it? But anyway, that's a different story. Handy, I'm going to come to you now. But we're going to go a little different with you. We got the Bears-Broncos out of the way. There's the other two. I didn't know this until I really looked at the schedule. The other two 0-3 teams play each other as well. There is a Vikings-Panthers matchup on Sunday, Anthony. So we could have 2 0-4 teams by the end of this weekend. Or hell, if both games end in a tie, they'll still be without wins. But anyways, let's go to Vikings-Panthers, Anthony. I'm going to go this with you. What are your thoughts on this? What are you thinking in terms of can the Vikings finally get a win here? I mean, Kirk Cousins seems like he's having a decent year, but they just can't win. What do you got here, Anthony? Vikings-Panthers this weekend. Who's 0-4? What happens?
You know what? At this point, it's really hard. This has been the season is only the regular season is only about to be a quarter of the way through, and it has already been one of the most surreal seasons ever. And out of all of the Vikings are a huge surprise being in this position right now. I mean, I could take 1 and 2 more than I could take 0 and 3 from the Vikings.
Yep.
The Bears. No offense to your squad. That I don't know what's going on there. And Tina, a 50 burger. 50 points. That just hurts. 70 points. That's like somebody showed up at your house, slapped you in the face, ate all your food, left, went to Golden Corral, took all the food off the buffet, brought it back to your house, and watched you bleed. Watch you sit there with a bleeding lip while they ate all of that, and then was like, "You can't have nothing left." That's rough. That's very rough. I'm very, very sorry. My condolences to all of you. Wow, you know what? I'm gonna get to my point in a minute, but something just dawned on me. This is probably the first time in the 3 years I've been doing a football podcast where my team has the best record. I mean, because normally I've been sitting. Look. Normally I would be commiserating right along with y'all, like he all gloom, despair, and agony on me. Oh. Anyway, Vikings, Panthers. The Panthers have been dysfunctional for so long. I don't foresee them figuring out. I don't see them pulling the Arizona Cardinals and jumping up and beating the Vikings, because the Vikings have pretty much been right there, just right there, so close.
Yeah, they've been pretty much at every game I think that they've played. They just haven't been able to overcome whatever it was. So yeah.
I think the Vikings. I think the Vikings come out and they punch the Panthers in the mouth, and I don't think it'll be a runaway, but I think they punch the Panthers in the mouth and then just keep them at arm's length for the remainder of the game. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna say Vikings win by 10, and they're going to celebrate like, and they celebrate like they won the Super Bowl.
Oh man!
And Kirk can go back to wearing his Cuban links on the plane.
There you go. Absolutely.
I'm so icy. I'm so icy. I'm so icy.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, yeah, definitely looking forward to this week. Like I said, we could have a couple of 0-4 teams and a couple of 4-0 teams when this weekend is over. Ben says the greatest of Andy Dalton may be starting for Carolina again. I'll take the Vikings in this one. Minnesota wins by accident this week. Well, there you go. You heard it first here, folks. Ben Coleman says they win by accident. And Johnny Dean says the Vikings are who we thought they were. That's because your Bucks beat them in week 1, Johnny. That's why you're happy. It's okay. We appreciate this. Yes, go ahead, Andy. Yes, I know you're Bucks fan if you live in Vegas, but so whatever.
Y'all should have seen my jaw hit the ground when they were going through the replay of halftime of halftime of the night game, and they're doing the highlights. And I heard the man say Andy Dalton, and I almost gave myself whiplash turning around like he's still playing.
Yes.
Yes.
Is he trying to beat George Blander's record or something?
Probably.
Why wouldn't he?
Didn't George Blander play till he was eligible for Social Security or something like that?
Yeah.
Close to it. That's the only thing.
You know what Andy Dalton did for us? He won football games.
I knew that was coming. I had a feeling that's what was coming. See, silent assassin, my friends. She says it nicely, but she says it. That's it. Silent assassin. Kill him, Delilah.
I have a question. Did Trevor Siemian play for you guys too, or just New Orleans?
Trevor Siemian did play for us, and the Jets are picking him up as long as he passes his physical, I heard. So Trevor may be a Jet backing up good, or probably starting instead of Zach Wilson. Who knows what they're doing in New York now? Aaron Rodgers.
We re-signed Peter.
He's an Northwestern grad. The kid's smart. He's intelligent, right?
Oh yeah.
He's going to Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's got about 8, 9 more teams to go. Hey, nobody's going to beat Josh Johnson, though. Ben Johnson's been on like 14 teams, so I don't think anybody's beating Josh Johnson.
Speaking of New Orleans, did y'all see? Did you see everybody's on the bench shoulders visibly dropped when they realized that Crab Legs was going in the game?
What?
Who's Crab Legs?
When Carr got hurt.
Oh yeah.
And Crab Legs grabbed his helmet and stood up. Everybody's
James.
Johnny.
He wants to. He's come out.
Time to eat it up.
He really hates Zach Wilson, so he might want to try to Broadway Joe over there come out of retirement.
Can you see him coming out in that white fur coat?
Yes, exactly. That's what I said. Yeah. You're Crab Legs. You're killing me, Anthony. Killing me. All right, folks.
I needed these laughs. Thank y'all.
Right.
Is that the Jameis Winston thing? Okay, yeah.
Jameis Winston. That's what I say, because I used to back up in New Orleans, and believe me, he did nothing. They was 17-0 when Winston came in the game, and they lost 18-17. So Jameis really didn't do anything. So there you go. But let us move on.
But we ate a W, though. We ate a W. We ate a W.
Oh man, okay. All right. So next thing, Andy's cracking himself up that Jane Williams is going to get a job before Susie Colbert. Wow. All right, we're not going to get into that, Ben. Thank you for that, though. We're going to lose the Susie Colbert stuff alone for now.